At this point in time, I'd like to invite Representative Paul Clymer to the rostrum. Paul served the 145th District of Bucks County for 34 years, having been elected in 1980. He is currently serving as chairman of the House Education Committee and is a member of the House Gaming Oversight Committee. He's also serves as chairman of the Capital Preservation Committee. Before his election to the House, Paul was a credit manager at Lancanoe Hospital in Philadelphia, and he resides in West Rock Hill Township, Bucks County. Will you please give me your attention and welcome Representative Clymer to the rostrum for some parting remarks. Welcome, Paul.
Speaker Smith, Leader Turzai, Leader Dermody, fellow legislators, family, staff, and friends. One never quite believes it will be their turn to come to the podium and give departing words. Over the years, I've seen many members of the House say their farewell, and I said to myself, I'm not there yet. Well, today here I am. The challenge, how to define in a short time the awesome experience of serving 34 years in this great General Assembly. I will try. To the members, it truly has been an honor and a privilege to have served with so many outstanding individuals. When I reflect back over the years, in my mind's eye, I see many familiar faces, and I feel fulfillment and consolation at the camaraderie and the friendship with these former assemblymen. Each of you here today have made this journey an unforgettable lifetime experience, unpredictable at times, but exciting always, for which I am most grateful. Family, staff, and friends are key to assisting the legislature with their duties and responsibilities. I could not have received a passing grade for 17 terms without the hard work and dedication of staff and the continued support of family and friends. With me today are members of my family. My brother Bob, his wife Joan could not be here. My brother Barry and his wife Pam, their daughters Denise and Megan. My sister Ann Cunningham and her husband Lee could not be here. My brothers David and his wife Audrey, brother Jerry and his wife Donna are on vacation in Florida, where my brother Frank and his wife Leela reside. So they're all in the Sunshine State. So I want to recognize them. Mr. Speaker, can I have them stand, the four that I just mentioned, the five? You want to stand? That's enough. That's enough. Let's not overdo it. Other guests are in the back that I will mention as I proceed. Words can never describe how much I am indebted to a faithful and dedicated staff. Their professionalism and sacrifices make thank you sound hollow. But thank you, staff, for your many years of dedication and support. From the Harrisburg staff, I want to recognize Eileen Crick, my administrative assistant for 28 years, and Norma Aviles, my secretary for 18 years. Would you like to stand? Eileen and Norma are tasked with helping me keep on schedule for numerous appointments. You know how that is, fellow legislators. Eileen prepares the agenda for the House Education Committee. She is a miracle worker in scheduling appointments during session time. Both employees, Norma and Eileen, greet visitors with professionalism. Norma makes certain all mailings are out on time and reminds me if I did not make that phone call. Both are dedicated, faithful, and hard workers. Eileen also makes a mean chocolate chip cookie, and Norma makes sure the coffee is brewing fresh every morning. So again, Thank you. From the district office, Pat Wolf, my administrative assistant for 24 years, and Deborah Zelstra, my secretary for 6 years. Would you stand, Pat and Deborah? Pat makes certain that the concerns of my constituents are properly handled and taken care of. She specializes in the PennDOT problems and has done outstanding work in assisting those with PennDOT problems. And now and then we have a pothole in the district, which she takes care of as well. Deborah is our official office greeter and phone receptionist. She types responses to constituents and, and prepares our birthday list. Pat was and is instrumental in organizing the annual Veterans Day program and to make sure I'm on time for all the meetings in the district. So again, my appreciation and thanks to all four, Arlene, Norma, Pat, and Deborah, for the outstanding work. To the staff of the House Education Committee, what a talented group of people. Confronting everyday challenges is not easy. Making tough decisions, and through it all, significant accomplishments. A great team. Thanks, Judy, Dave, Karen, Jonathan, Elizabeth, and Mike. Thank you for your dedication and professionalism. And to Chairman Roebuck, thank you for your good efforts and cooperation. And to the entire members of the House Education Committee, thank you for your support, for your willingness to cooperate to get things done. My Bucks County delegation, a great team, the best. We've gone through many challenging experiences together, and when you go through those experiences, you bond. So, thank you, Kathy, Marguerite, thank you, Bernie, thank you, Jean, Scott, and Frank for your patience and for your friendship. It has been an awesome experience to work with you and to serve with you, a privilege and an honor as well. And across the aisle, Steve, John, and Tina, always good friends. And you know what? We can bond better if we sit down and talk about the pension bills. Do you know what I mean? Kidding, of course, but thank you for your friendship. Early on, I mentioned family influence in career decisions. One of my early relatives, I.C. Clymer, served 2 terms in the Pennsylvania legislature. Leader Dermody, he served as a Republican. I just want to make the record clear. A farmer, as a farmer, he was elected in 1908 and 1910. As I said, he was a farmer. He resided in West Rock Hill Township, my home of residence. I had wonderful parents. My father, Frank Clymer, was a businessman and served 3 terms on the Sellersville Borough Council from 1952 to 1964. Out of respect for my father, I am wearing one of his ties. So I don't know if you can see it, but I can hear the undercurrent now. What does this guy collect and save, But I did put away a few of my father's ties. My mother, Anna, a truly given person, what great mom, was for 50 years a machine operator for a local clothing manufacturer. And people have asked me about George Clymer, the signer of the Declaration of Independence. At this time, we don't have any proof that our family has a relationship, but I wanted to share that. Throughout our tenure, each of us are confronted with different issues and situations. I certainly respect members who make votes based on their wishes of their constituency. That's why you're here. But I want to mention the days leading up to the vote to legalize slot machines here in Pennsylvania. That took place on July 4th, 2004. I characterize the political culture as the nights became dark and cold, the waters greatly troubled as a fierce storm approached. The situation was dire. To keep the ship from being scuttled These individuals showed special courage and strength of character during this time of legislative upheaval and turmoil. I want to thank Eileen Crick, Norma Velez, Susan Boyle, Charlene Bayshore, Matt Baker, Jerry Stern, John Marr, and the Pennsylvania Institute, which includes Mike Gear, Tom Shanahan, Randy Wenger, for their support. The anchor held. There are always opportunities to serve beyond the doors of the legislature. When Joe Pitts moved on to the federal Congress, I was given the honor and privilege to become chairman of the Capital Preservation Committee, which was tasked with the responsibility to protect and preserve the ongoing maintenance of the priceless artifacts here in what we refer to as the Palace of Art. Created in 1982, the Capital Preservation Committee was the vision of former Speaker Matthew Ryan. Speaker Leroy Irvis was also instrumental in developing this new committee. Joe Pitts became its first chairman, Ruth Ann Kemper, its first executive director, and a good one at that. And she is here with us this morning, as were the people from the Pennsylvania Family Institute. David Craig replaced Ruth Ann, and with the mission and responsibilities continue, and these missions and responsibilities continue uninterrupted today. Also on staff are Chris, Jason, Sue, Carla, and Tara. Thank you, staff, for all your good work. By the way, the Capital Preservation Committee has its Christmas items now on sale. So, buy early, buy often. Some best memories. Some of the great debates that took place was when Speaker Ryan and House Leader Sam Hayes would confront Democrat leader Jim Mandarino and then Whip Leroy Irvis on major public policy issues. These historic debates continued when Mandarino and Irvis were speakers and the Republicans in the minority. The discourse and passion was memorable, a true learning experience in the art of debate and politics. During this era, and you heard earlier this morning, during this era, general fund budgets were generally not passed until the early morning hours. Why, you ask? The leaders on both sides wanted us, as members, to see the light. You are members of the Pennsylvania General Assembly. You will get it sooner or later. Perhaps later than sooner, but you will get it. The 11 p.m. curfew makes more sense, trust me. Here in Pennsylvania, we are truly blessed with our history and legacy of individual freedoms. William Penn was more than an outstanding statesman, but a visionary as well. His mission was to create a government capable of religious tolerance, his holy experiment, as he referred to it, and it has been a great success. Here, under his vision, government would protect religious freedom, not persecute, and individual rights and freedoms would be upheld by those in authority, not trampled upon. This pattern of thinking, of course, was unknown in the old world order. As you have heard from previous speakers, this General Assembly, for 334 years serving, is the oldest legislative body in North America. The seed planted here in Pennsylvania in 1682 has borne enormous fruit by being a model government for other nations of the world to emulate. Think about it and be proud. I believe the greatest gift we as members of this Pennsylvania General Assembly can give to the world is that human rights, human dignity, economic freedom, and religious freedom are alive and well after 334 years. Truly amazing. Our democracy works. Will succeeding generations benefit from our labors in this legislature? They will, if we do not abuse the system and we help those truly in need, and we recognize that bureaucracies can be stifling to the growth of the economy, and that with fidelity and integrity, we uphold the federal and state constitutions, which we all have sworn to do. Then will future generations be blessed, and our collective endeavors will have much promise. I've had the opportunity to serve under 6 governors. While perfection is not bestowed upon anyone who serves in government, you know that, all 6 were mindful that the protection of our citizens was their primary responsibility. Each one succeeded in this endeavor. May future governors be as successful. We need watchmen on the wall who will alert us when there is pending dangers. Some time ago, a constituent asked me what were the 3 most memorable events in my district. After all, we as legislators, we have responsibilities not only in Harrisburg, but back in the district, and I'll very briefly mention 3. The Great Percy Fire in 1988, which consumed a large portion of the downtown. I mention that because it shows that when local government, county, state, and federal government work together, the damage can be repaired. And that's an example of the government working in sync with each other. The next was the serious farm drought of 1999, which could have been more devastating than it was, but for the state providing needed financial relief. And that's a credit to this General Assembly for providing the dollars that were needed so that these farmers could have seed money to plan for the next year. And third, some years back, some 400 National Guardsmen were part of the striker force that were returning from completing their tour of duty in the Middle East. They were coming in by buses to the 228th Support Battalion headquarters, which is located in Sellersville, obviously my district. It was well after 1 o'clock when the buses started to roll in, and yet people were lined up on the main street, by the hundreds, lights on, flags waving, people singing and cheering our returning heroes. It was an awesome sight of patriotism, citizens expressing gratitude to those who served their country. And I mention that because it shows, as we heard here this morning, that patriotism, love of country, and respect for our military is alive and well. So what will I miss? Well, all of you here in the House and scattered throughout the Capitol, for reasons known to them, Matt Baker and Jean DiGirolamo, you can talk to them about it. I'll miss Jen Jones and her camera crew because more times than not, I wanted to do a photo. It was an unscheduled assignment, and I would call them, and they would come running over from the Ryan Building to the Capitol Building. They were awesome. I'll miss Tricia Lehman, Public Relations, calling the office saying, did Clymer sign off on that news report? You know, deadline is approaching. The messenger service, complaining they cannot put boxes in my car because it is already filled with stuff. I will miss the annual Christmas tree lighting ceremony and the participating school choruses. I will miss the arrival of school children from their spring tour, coming for their spring tour of the Capitol. And speaking of these wonderful, innocent children, they are living in a chaotic and dangerous world. The terrorist group known as ISIS, if given the opportunity, will show them no mercy, none. Each of us, as their protectors and guardians, should vow to Almighty God to keep them safe from these terrorists who are the purveyors of hate and murder. We can do no less. I will miss Pastor Jeff and our weekly Bible fellowship, especially the coffee and donuts. Well, I'll miss all of you there. I learned one thing. I learned many things, but one of the psalms that has stuck out from our fellowship is a 23rd Psalm, which says, "Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord, and the people who he has called for his inheritance." Upon retirement, I plan to remain politically active. Leader Dermody, we do have some Democrats in Upper Bucks, so I have to be. Touche. I want to give, let's see, I lost my place. I'm going to continue continue my hobby of collecting antiques and collectibles, do some serious reading, spend more time in Ocean City, New Jersey, travel a bit, and to clean out my two-door garage. I have to park on the driveway. So that's an assignment I have to do. So, as I turn the last page of the last chapter, I want to give you heartfelt thanks to all of you for your kindness, generosity, and friendship that has made these past 34 years such an unforgettable and memorable experience. Oh, I hope I can do the last part. I close with Irving Berlin's musical tribute to America. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless you and thank you.
Well, to slight irony, my chief of staff and the Mace had a little pre-Paul Clymer's bet as to how many times he might mention gaming in his closing remarks. We had the over and under at 2. I think he only said slots once. On a serious note, Paul, I don't think I slight anyone in this room, and I don't think I overstate it when I say that you are the kindest person in the room. To say that you're a gentleman is an understatement. And the fact that you walk the walk and you live the life of the faith you profess, I think is something that most of us fall short at. And the number of achievements and the issues you've been involved with, the Capital Preservation Committee, those things are all really great things. But you said one other thing in your remarks this today that I think a lot of us miss. You said one of the things you'll miss is the lighting of the Christmas tree. And I think numerous times when I was running through this building, either literally or figuratively, in the hustle and bustle, and there was something going on in the rotunda, just a group of high school, a chorus group singing or whatever, that you had no affiliation with. And you might be standing there enjoying the moment. And your ability to stop and smell the roses, as they say, is, I think, one of your great assets that many of us should probably have learned to do better. God bless you in your future endeavors, and thank you for being a great friend and being a kind and loving gentleman.